Hey everybody, this is Chef Mareya with eatcleaner.com. Today I'm going to show you how to cook eggplant in olive oil in a skillet. Now this is a very traditional dish in Egypt where I grew up, and there are a couple of tricks. I know it sounds pretty simple, but I want to share a couple of tricks with you so that you cook the eggplant perfectly without drying it out or making it absorb too much oil like a sponge, which it can. So I've got my eggplant here and I've washed it with the Eat Cleaner fruit and vegetable wash first. We always have to wash our veggies first. I'm gonna cut the end of the eggplant off. And basically, what you wanna do is you wanna cut it about 1/4 of an inch thick. Not too thin, where again, it dries out and becomes like a piece of leather, basically, or too thick where it's going to just suck up all the oil in the pan and become like too greasy. So about 1/4 of an inch thick. And I cut these kind of slowly so that I maintain some consistency with the size. Doesn't matter if they're a little bit larger in diameter, just as long as the thickness is consistent so that they, all cook about the same. Now, because of the size of my pan, I'm going to have to do these in a couple of batches, but I'm going to give you an idea of how this works. So my discs are about even, and I'm going to turn the pan on, get it warm before I add the oil. Now this is a trick, maybe you've seen me do this before, but before you cook and actually get the oil in there, you want your pan to be hot, so that the oil doesn't just sit in there and kind of come up to temperature. It's already at temperature and will start to sizzle because the pan is hot. So while I do that, I'm just going to take my eggplant here. I've got my discs. And I'm gonna take a little bit of the low salt. This is gonna help in the cooking process. Eggplant is really, if you've ever eaten it, you'll know it's pretty bland in flavor until you season it, so just a little bit of seasoning goes a long way. And that'll also help it from turning brown, which eggplant can turn brown pretty quickly. So my pan is, got my hand over my pan, just don't put your hand on your pan. Make sure that it's hot enough. I think it's there now. And then I'm gonna add about 1.5 tablespoons of oil. And what I wanna do is make sure that the oil is evenly distributed throughout the pan before I start my actual cooking process. It's these little things that seem so simple that make or break your cooking. Okay, so a trick here too is just to take a paper towel and move it around. I'm going to take that extra oil and just dab the eggplant too. Now when you're done with this, there's so many different things that you can do with the eggplant, from topping it with a little bit of flax to maybe putting it into a marinara sauce, really light and healthy. I like to pan fry it like this because you're not deep frying it, you're not getting too much extra oil in there. And we're always trying to look for ways to cut back on our oil. See? All right, so I got these kind of perfect amount for this size pan. Isn't that great? So I'm gonna cook these for about maybe 3 to 4 minutes on each side. I wanna do it on low heat. I don't want to cook them too fast because it will suck all the moisture out of them. They'll dry out on you, and dry eggplant is not good. So I'm going to cook these kind of over a lower heat. I'll flip them over and we'll see what they look like when they're all nice and brown. So don't go away. Okay, I think my eggplant is ready. Look at how beautiful and golden brown that is. Just the right shade of brown. And you can see when I pick it up with my tongs how nice and tender they've gotten. That's because we cut it just the right thickness, about 1/4 of an inch thick. They're nice and soft, but good golden brown, and these will be great in just about any preparation. And we barely used any oil, about 1 tablespoon, a little over 1 tablespoon for that. So if you like eggplant as much as I do, which I love eggplant, sometimes I just take a little bit of flaxseed, and this is great because it's super rich with great omegas and fatty acids, and it's better than breadcrumbs, way more nutrient dense. So I just take a little bit, sprinkle it over, and that's a really super side dish too. I'll bite into this because they smell so good and I can't resist. Let me try this out. And just a little bit of that low salt, that's all you need. It's like one of my favorite things ever. So hopefully you'll try my recipe for eggplant in olive oil, just in the skillet. Super easy, really quick, and really nutritious. I'm Chef Mareya with eatcleaner.com, and I hope to see you soon.